More people? Most people? Yeah. Probably come back in a second. Alright, so what we're going to do, I'm going to introduce Ziva real quick, and then we're going to go around, and you're just going to say your name and what your zine was about. And I already told her that we did zines, and so yeah, you'll just say your name, what your zine was about. Just to get kind of a feel, again, of the individuals that comprise this DIY punk class community. So, anyways, you read it, I'm going to say it again. Ziva Perez is a librarian by day, DJ by night, and zine maker for life. Ziva helped create the first ever circulating zine collection at the LA Public Library in 2017. Previously, Ziva was at the Long Beach Public Library where she helped create the first ever circulating zine collection there in 2015. Awesome. Ziva was co-organizer of the Long Beach Zine Fest for 4 years and is now a co-organizer of the LA Zine Fest, tentatively scheduled for Sunday, May 28, 2023. Location TBD. So welcome, Ziva. It's really awesome to have you. And we'll just go around the room. You know me. We do Zine Club together. Well, you lead Zine Club. I just come and hang out for a bit. But let's go around just so I know you already know archivist, professor, and dean. So yeah, let's start. So yeah. You know. Or you can, yeah. It could be the conundrum of not being able to do a zine, you know?
Yeah, can I have like 3
That's
people?
fine. That's totally fine.
My name is DJ, and my zine is just like a little informative piece and also express my love of like my favorite food that I'm making right now. And it's just like a pasta dish with just like chicken and Alfredo and stuff, and that's how I survive. So.
My name is Elise. My zine was sort of about like veganism and about how I feel like today, like a lot of people in the veganism movement can be a little bit exclusive, and like talking about different ways to like make the movement for animal welfare like more inclusive of all communities, because I think like ultimately like being more inclusive will actually be better for like the veganism movement in the end.
It's really small, but it's called the EJ Zine, and EJ stands for Environmental Justice. It's like a little drawing, and then I wrote about like different keywords in environmental justice, the movement, and then I have like a drawing of like the broader environmental justice, and then like the history of where it started, and then like some links to check out.
Hi, I'm Karen, and I did my zine about like deconstructing different components of my identity and then kind of dialoguing it with like different facets of my creativity.
My name is Sam, and I just made a talk to zine about my favorite album, By Night, and my favorite artist, Blood Orange. Talk to zine about my favorite album, By Night, and my favorite artist, Blood Orange. Keep it deluxe.
I did my zine called like The Humble Narcissist. It's kind of about how vain, or like femininity can be seen as vanity, and so it's kind of like basically a giant rant about why feminine people aren't, like how feminine people should be taken seriously, and you don't have to necessarily, as a woman, portray masculine traits to be a serious individual, serious artist, professional, whatever world you live in. That like level of respect goes down the more feminine you are, and I think that's dumb. So it's basically a bunch of fuck yous and rants, and it's beautiful.
I also did my zine on one of my favorite albums, Somewhere City by Origami Angel, and
Simon. My zine is on substance abuse and finding a balance with like recreationally using substances. My mother passed away from drinking too much, and I'm mainly doing this project because it's caught up to me that addiction can be hereditary, So I'm like, maybe this is good for me and whoever relates.
My name's Anthony, and I made my zine about black metal zine. Black metal is a genre of music that I really like personally, but it's been frankly infested with hateful ideology ever since its inception. And my zine was just basically a collection of some artists and bands that I really liked that were explicitly anti-fascist.
I'm a teen, and I did mine on identity and kind of relationship to one's physical appearance and that connection, and also just the relationship like your inward self and how it all kind of shapes what you back in the world.
I'm Will, and I'm a climate science major, so like mine's kind of about climate science and like specific facts and whatnot about what's going on with the climate and findings from like the latest United Nations report. So like helpful statistics that you can share with your with those around you and others interested in like what's going on with the climate and ways to help.
My name is Sarah. My zine was on depictions of women in the horror genre and just like the variations of those and how they reflect current societal like fears around women.
Hello, I'm Heisem. I'm a global jazz major, so I did my zine on jazz, and it's specifically about like trailblazers in jazz music. So like Bill Evans was like one of the first white kind of musicians to be accepted in the black community, and then Eric Dolphy was like he just like kind of changed the way people thought about jazz, and then John Coltrane. So it just talks about jazz and specifically people that changed the way people thought about music and life after that.
I'm a little behind as well, but I was thinking it'd be cool to do it. I'm a theater major, and I have this really neat professor who had us deliver raps from songs, like contemporary songs as monologues. And so I would just want to do a zine about which performances I thought were interesting and how like the really explicit and gaudy lyrics actually relate back to Shakespearean times.
Cool.
And I guess so. I'll probably do my zine on like Thai like style like rolled ice cream. So I just got like a rolled ice cream cart and like just been like super into it. And I actually just like started selling it on Double.
What's
so
Double?
Just like, oh you did? Yeah, and then I love it so much. So yeah, I'll probably do my zine on that.
That's awesome. Worth the wait. Anyways, all right. Thank you all. Thanks for sharing. I hope you have a good sense of our community here. And everyone, let's welcome Ziba.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah, that's what I love about zines. It's really whatever message you want to get out there is what you make it. So I always tell people that are brand new to zines, like, it's for everyone. It can be your business card. If you're a cook, it can be your cookbook. If you're a filmmaker, it can be like stills from your film. Or if you're a comedian, it could be like pages of jokes. Or if you're a musician, it could be your lyrics. So anything you already do, you can put it in a zine. You can make it into a zine. So that's what everyone is. I really like. Thank you for sharing. So this is my favorite part of your campus, and you'll see why in the next slide. And this is me in middle school. It's from my first zine that I ever made, which was in 2012. And that's my favorite band from high school. That's why that's my favorite part of your campus. This is also a page I made in one of my first zines, which I tabled at in 2012 at Los Angeles Zine Fest, the first one, which was at the Last Bookstore in downtown LA. And I call my zine Zebra Radar Zine because I like zebras. Since my name is Zeba, people mishear it and think I say zebra. So I just embraced it and say I'm like zebra without the R. So, and then my last name, Zadar, growing up, Zeba Zadar to me was like zebra radar. And I have a radar for zebras, so anything, I try to put zebras in my zine. Like I go through magazines and I cut out zebras. And that was my AOL Instant Messenger screen name as well, Zebra Radar. So I still use that one. This is a photo of actually 2012, the LA Zine Fest. That's me tabling, and then we had two friends, Rena and Simon from my high school that also tabled. And so it was really fun. We tabled as Three Amigos Press, which I just made up because we were three friends from high school. We met in Long Beach, Poly High, class of 2000. So LA County, born and raised. So the next year in 2013 was the first annual San Diego Zine Fest. So just to show you, zines are all over, and in the last 10 years they really blossomed in, well, more than 10 years, in Southern California with the annual festivals that you can go to. So now that you have zines, you can make multiple copies and sell and trade and table and meet other zine makers. It's really fun to do that. That's what I started doing after 2012 a lot. But in 2014, I took a trip to Salt Lake City, and I just stumbled across the public library zine collection. So I didn't realize zines were in public libraries until I was in Utah and saw, this is a picture of their collection. And they told me they had the largest circulating zine collection west of the Mississippi. And I thought, how's that possible? Because, you know, we're in California, where's the circulating zines in Southern California? So at the time, I was in my first year as a public librarian in Orange County at Costa Mesa branch. So I asked them if we could start it there. They said no, but this is me in the OC Weekly saying we should have zines in the Orange County Public Library. So that's what, and they said no because they didn't want to be the first. They said, I like the idea, but let's wait till other people do it so we see how they do their policies and everything. So I just decided to look for a different library to work for. So I went to Long Beach Public Library in 2015, and I started the first circulating zine collection in Southern California at Long Beach Public Library, my hometown, born and raised. So that was exciting. And that they also had their first annual Long Beach Zine Fest in 2015, the year I started. So I tabled it, but I didn't co-organize it till the next year, 2016. But just to show you that Orange County had their first Zine Fest in 2014. So everything's like picking up since LA started in 2012. And then in, oh yeah, so that's 2014 to 2015. So I'm going in order here of my year. So now 2015, this is the Long Beach Public Library Zine Collection I started right as soon as I got on board. They were already into it, so it wasn't like anything trying to convince them. And then on the left is my alma mater for undergrad. I went to UC Irvine, and in 2015 they also had a UCI Library Zine Fest that I helped with. At the time I was doing zebra pizza. It was half pizza, half zebra with my partner at the time. They did the pizza and I did the zebra. So we were zebra pizza zine. So that was fun that zines are everywhere, like on campus, in libraries, at Zine Fest. And here's the Long Beach Public Library Zine Collection 2015, the first in Southern California. So that next year I became a co-organizer of Long Beach Zine Fest, and so we were in the Long Beach Post about we're introducing the City of Long Beach's own circulating zine collection at the Zine Fest, and they did an article about that there. So it's really cool just getting the word out, letting people know what zines are. So being in the Long Beach Post helps. And then this was the first Zine Fest in the Long Beach Public Library. Zine Queens is a zine fest for mostly LGBTQ+, and the organizer or co-organizer here asked, can we do the Zine Fest at your library? We're looking for a venue. And I was like, sure. So I didn't really do much. I just said, here's a space. And then they also had live bands in the auditorium. So here's a little flyer from that, which I understand that's your former band. In 2016, I could have met you, but I guess you were...
I was already, onto a different band by then.
So we had live bands at the library, so that was really fun. And then there's pictures of people tabling. 2016, so 2017, we had a book bike that I turned into a zine bike, so it could do outreach in the city and have zines on it. So when you have like arts, Fourth Fridays, Fourth they call it, on Retro Row or any kind of art walk, you could take the zine bike out and let the community know zines exist. You can check them out, and they could actually check it out on the spot. I would say if you have your library card, I just take a picture of your barcode, take a picture of the zine barcode, and I'll check it out to you when I get back to the library. And then we had the Zine Librarians Unconference in Long Beach. I hosted that, and they do that every year all around the nation so that people that like zines in libraries or anywhere can get together and just talk about it, and it's free. You don't have to pay. It's like an unconference, and you make it what you want it to be. So I learned a lot from everyone that year. This year they're doing it in San Francisco, and there's going to be one day at the University of San Francisco and the next day at the San Francisco Public Library. That's August 4th and 5th, so if you want to take a weekend trip, which I'm going to do, you can go and talk about zines for a weekend. It sounds real fun, so I'm going to do that. And then 2017 again, this is a sewing plus zine workshop where we're binding zines with the sewing machines in the library, again, Long Beach Public Library. But on the right is, I did a zine workshop at Chaffey College, which community college in the Inland Empire, the IE, the 909. So that was fun to do that for Women's History Month, just showing you that zines are everywhere. So just keep at it. Yes?
Are you from the IE?
No, I'm from Long Beach, California, but I did go to the Inland Empire a lot for friends and lots of fun over there too. So. Long Beach, by Long Beach in 2017, that was my last year at Long Beach Public Library. Here again is a speed reader, which I helped get a grant to purchase and design with my team. And hello to Los Angeles, yay! So I went to Los Angeles Public Library, and they didn't have circulating zines, so that's the first thing I did, is brought circulating zines to the Los Angeles Public Library. Because even when I was in Long Beach, I said, how can we be the first and LA doesn't have it? This is crazy. So then I came into LA and I was like, okay, here we go. So with the team of people that were on board, we created lapl.org/zines and 7 locations with zines out of 73, soon to be 8, because at my new branch, I'm going to start it up there. And you can check them out with your library card. And here's an example of the first set of zines. Here's a barcode, and it says Los Angeles Public Library, and it has a location of what branch has it. So you can go on the website, and whatever library is close to you, place a hold with your library card, because it's all cataloged, and you can see the cover. There's like a thumbnail picture of the cover, and as long as it's not missing, then they'll send it to you, and you can check them out for free with your library card. And in 2018, Joshua Tree had their own Zine Fest, the first annual Joshua Tree Zine Fest, and this is the organizer from Joshua Tree that made that, and it was literally like a pop-up Zine Fest in the desert. So that was really cool. Like, if you want to make a Zine Fest, make a Zine Fest. So now that you make a zine, how about make a Zine Fest? Go ahead and just do it. DIY, do it yourself. That's what this class is about. So I did, instead of zebra pizza, it was zebra chips and salsa, because it was on April 1st. So that was my April Fool's zine I made for Joshua Tree Zine Fest. And some zines that I got there that I added to the collection. So I would get zines by trading them mostly. I would just say, oh, I have a bunch of zines. Are you up for trades? And then I would trade them, because I didn't want to like spend my own money and budget for the library, since they weren't giving me money necessarily to grow the collection at first. So in 2018, we tabled the Los Angeles Zine Fest, which was in Pasadena that year, and that's one of the other zine librarians, Angie, and this is the head of the Los Angeles Public Library System, John Zabo. We're very much supporter of zines, so that's really, I think, the key to getting zines in your public library, is have the director be into it, because the director in Long Beach was into it, in LA, but I guess not in Orange County at the time, like over 10 years ago. And this is a library patron at my branch at the time. I was at Baldwin Hills Branch Library, and they saw the zine collection, and they said, what's this? I do poetry. And I said, I make a zine. And so they made a zine and put it in the zine library, like they made copies. So that's like voices from the community in the library that they use. So it's really, and then they're published in the catalog. So I think that's a great success story for a zine in a zine collection in a public library. And then in 2019, so the American Library Association has an annual conference. It was in DC that year. And they always have a zine pavilion, so they let other librarians around the nation know this is what a zine is. And this is the zine pavilion on the left, where they get a bunch of zines and then they raffle it off for free to a librarian that can start their own zine collection at their library. So it's really cool. I try to volunteer with that whenever I'm around. And then from DC to Mexico. So I go to Mexico whenever I can, and this is a little store called Cafeleria, and they have zines in Spanish. So I always make sure to buy zines in Spanish when I'm there in Mexico City, and I add them to the collection. So you'll see a bunch at Baldwin Hills. And 2020, we did quarantine workshops on Zoom, so that's my quarantine, since we're all in quarantine. And 2021, still, I think from working from home, I got to be on UCLA radio, which I found out so did Jessica. MagHag, and you can listen to it. That's the name of the podcast or talk show. And the DJ Wicked Wench, if they're still on Sundays at 2. And you can hear it on the SoundCloud, is right.
I didn't even know that was actually published. The one
Yeah,
that I
it was a surprise when I looked for my recording. I was, oh, there you are. Like we're all, and then the next year, 2022, I did Zine Club the whole year, just on Zoom, so we could all talk about zines every other week together. That's how I really met Jessica too. And then I was on your podcast, so that was.
I'll have the link to.
Yeah, right. With also Yago and Lorena, 2 other zine librarians from Los Angeles Public Library. So it was fun to. And then Zine Club again is just a virtual space to co-work, chat, share inspiration for whatever projects we're working on. So everyone here is invited. Our next one's Monday, March 6th at 4 p.m. And in same year, 2022 was a busy year. I was with the Phoenix Zine Fest, and that was online, virtual. Well, one day was, and we got to talk about zine libraries, communities archive, and I was also at the Pomona College for their Print Pomona Art Book Fair, which is also coming up again this year. And I did a little talk like this over there, and that's a zine I did about my grandmother in Iran, so that was like a tribute zine where I interviewed my dad about my grandma, and then I made it into a zine, so that was fun. And then we went to California Library Association and talked about zines, so Angie, Lorena, and I in Sacramento, and then Berkeley Public Library had a panel on zines I was on, so just a little, zines are everywhere, which I'm sure you already know, but I'm just proving it here. And then we did outreach at a high school, Dorsey High School by Baldwin Hills. We did zine workshop in their school library on the left. And on the right, we did one at Central Library downtown LA for LA Libros Fest, which is in Spanish and English bilingual. So we're doing bilingual zines, and I was letting people know how to make a zine. And then I did my own library zine fest at Baldwin Hills Library. We did one with the LAPL book bike, could put zines on it and let people look through them. And that was a small little mini zine fest. And here on the right you see John Dishwasher, a regular from LAPL Zine Club. And then in the middle also Quasi was one of the creators in residence for 2022 that did the library zine for free. And then I think there's exhibit's still up in downtown LA Central Library. You can see all the library zine. Also at Baldwin Hills Library Zine Fest was Errant Press, and these are the founders, and they moved from Mexico to LA and really doing a lot of bilingual zines for everyone, a distributor. And so this year, now we're at present day, we caught up. So we just last month had Brady Bree do a live stream on LA Zine Club, and Brady Bree is from Long Beach, went to Cal State Long Beach, but then I feel like they went viral on TikTok and YouTube, on Instagram, and you can watch the full live stream on, we just live streamed to Facebook, even though no one uses Facebook. So, but we have an LAPL Zine group on Facebook. And now I'm at Palisades Branch, so that's why it says, Palisades Branch, Los Angeles Public Library. And here again is Errant Press. They just had their own No Borders Zine Fest in Venice the February 4th, so just pretty recently. And now we look forward to LA Zine Fest, 10 years of zines here. I'm wearing the shirt and I have free stickers for you. So, and that's all. Any questions? Yes.
I have two questions. The
Yes.
first one is when you first like pitched it to the OC library, I don't know if you knew what they were thinking, but I want to know like what were the regulations they were thinking of that they had to prepare for, like.
It was like more like admin said no, like the administration just had a bunch of policies they didn't want to like redesign. So they were like, it's going to be a lot of work to rework all our policies to fit them towards zines, because zines are self-published. You know, there's no ISBN number. Like, how are we gonna peer review these? Like, who's gonna vet all these zines, and who's in charge? Like, they're just worried like, oh, it's too much work. We'll do it later when people already established it. So Anaheim Public Library does have a zine collection now, although that's the city of Anaheim, not the county of Orange, but they have their own circulating zine library. Because of the 2017 Zine Librarians Unconference, they went to that and they were inspired, so they started it that same year in Anaheim.
And then the second question
Yes.
was about the very first slide.
Yes.
I was wondering if that was a band member from System of a Down.
Yeah, in high school, my top 3 bands were.
Oh, that's my favorite band ever.
Yeah, they're in my top 3 or 5. I like Korn, System of a Down, Limp Bizkit, and then I forgot what the other ones were. Deftones. I'm in a Limp Bizkit video, so you can check out Break Stuff. I was 18, and I'm in it like right between Eminem and Dr. Dre. I'm wearing a white sweatshirt, and I'm just like, it's one of those days. Well, I listened to K-Rock, and they had a contest. They were like, everybody come down, be in the music video, and you could be an extra. But then I pushed my way to the front, so they saw I was really into it. They were like, you can be in the main video. So I got to be in it with like Pauly Shore. But I didn't even go for Limp Bizkit. I went because Korn was going to be there. Like, I knew John Statham, so I went to stalk him. So.
I don't blame you.
Wait, what was the video again?
Break Stuff.
Break Stuff, alright.
Limp Bizkit. Yeah.
How do you access all of these just zine fests and find all of them? Like, how do you network so well to just find such a good community?
Yeah, nowadays mostly Instagram, just like hashtag zines, or Twitter. Well, Twitter's old now, and so just Google zines, Zine Fest, and they're really everywhere. Yeah, that's probably the best way. Google Zine Fest.
And are they pretty open for submissions?
Yeah, depending on the size. That's the problem. Is this is my first year. I didn't mention. This is my first year as a co-organizer of Los Angeles Zine Fest, after co-organizing Long Beach Zine Fest for 4 years. So, and we do have a venue. It's Long Beach Expo Art Center, but that's the problem is LA Zine Fest used to have over 200 zine makers, and Long Beach Zine Fest had over 100. So because we don't have a large venue, we're gonna have to like make it even more harder to table. It's gonna be like half the people.
I was just looking at your application, and it was like, we are selling half tables and not whole tables.
Yeah, there's gonna be like a lot of work, because there's only like 7 of us co-organizers, and we have to go through hundreds of applications, and well, we'll see what happens. Yes.
Do you know if there are any zines available at UCLA's libraries?
Yes, and Zebra Pizza is in there, Zebra Radar is in there. It's at for the students, faculty, staff that can check them out with your library card, and then they're on protective sleeves. But they're also in the archives. I've seen a lot of the punk zines. They're really cool and special collections. They're really fun to look at. Those you don't really circulate.
Right. The circulating ones are in Powell. So there's a Powell zine collection, and then the archives has ours, which don't circulate.
Fascinating. Thank you.
Yes.
I'm wondering, like, since you have 2 zines, what makes you inspired to start making one? And like, do you try to like do it out, like make them weekly, or just when inspiration strikes, and just like sort of the process of that?
Thank you. That's why Zine Club's good, because it keeps each other like accountable. Because I still have a zine that I wanted to make. My idea came April of last year, and I still haven't made it. I just think about it and talk about it, but I don't. But I should make it. So for me, it was going to Zine Fest, applying to Zine Fest when I knew I was tabling. I was like, well, I'm gonna have something new. So that was my deadline. Like, so I'll literally be printing the day of the Zine Fest, and I'll be like running with my new issue and stapling it at the table and pulling up because I wanted something new. I was like, no, I'm gonna put it out. So that's how I would push myself. Yes.
When building your collection, how do you vet the zines? Like, is there like a no pile? Like a
Yeah.
golden rule?
Mostly I'll take everything. The only thing we have to say is like a no hate. We don't hate zines. And then nothing illegal, like that we would not want on the public computer, like in the public library. There's certain illegal things. So.
Like what?
Child porn.
Oh.
That's an understandable thing to not include.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, someone tried to turn in a zine of that?
No, but we have to have some limit, like we're not taking
Oh.
everything. Like we have to say this is what we're not adding.
Oh, okay.
You have to have a policy, a collection development policy. And it's on our website, like when you go to lapl.org/zines, and then there's a part that says collection development policy, and it'll tell you like mission, goal, where you can send your zines and everything. You can send them right now, like the zines you're making. And please do, I'll add it to my collection, which will soon be up there.
Mm-hmm.
But I will be going through every single zine because I'm the teen librarian. I work with young adults, high school, middle school. So for them to be in my section, like I don't do it. So this is a page of my scrapbook.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay, so no more questions. There's stickers here.
I have a question.
Yes.
Can you talk about some of the different materials that you've seen people make zines out of? We had some really interesting materials in Zine Club.
Oh yeah, people use fabric. You can totally, instead of paper, cut fabric and sew it. And at No Border Zine Fest, someone had like a pillow plushie zine. And they came from Tijuana and they drove up for the No Border Zine Fest. So I took a picture of them with their, it was almost kind of like how sometimes toddlers have like soft books like that. So that was their zine. And so almost anything, like even, I know Amanda uses like pokey, like cardboard, like packaging. And then I've seen people use even like Del Taco wrappers. So just like anything and everything you can use. So it's really fun when you just junk mail or packaging, just turn it into a part of your zine.
What are your stickers of?
These are from LA Zine Fest, so this is 2017, 2019, and 2018. So if you want to wrap LA Zine Fest on your things, go for it. There you go.
Thank you very much. And when was the next meeting again of Zine Club?
Monday, March 6th.
All right.
Are you still taking applications for the?
They close on the 22nd.
Okay.
February 20th, Wednesday.
Got it.
Yeah,
I'll
they're free.
I'll send the link out, or the invite or whatever, Viva, to the class.
Okay.
Is that cool?
Yeah. Yeah, you can put them, you can digitize them. I actually archive mine on Flickr. So that I can share them digitally. I did one on Canva. It wasn't as nice, but I used Canva.
So at that point, like technology was, at the beginning it would hurt it, but
Yeah.
at the end of it,
Yeah, definitely I digitize my own. stuff, so that I always have like high res copy that I can print out, cause I want to keep the archive.
But for sharing in general.
I know, that's really best for me. Yeah. Just because you wanna physically label your zines at a zine fest, if you wanna print it out. I recommend that, but there are e-zines that.
And then I saw.
Oh, that's what I'm
Yeah, e-zines, so.
And if the study of women has.
Thank you.
Do you want any help with this?
Oh, okay, yeah, let me get,
Both of them would be amazing.
Yeah, they both.
sign it.
Okay.
It said you were at 20%, and if you want to go to low power mode, so I put it on low power mode.
I'm free from like one.
I'm useless.
We have a questionnaire.
I don't think I've.
I can do it at 2.
Two? All right.
I didn't record a while.